Oh, hello. I just got my cleansing wipes Iron Man lingots netoyantes. How's it going, guys? Oh man, this is a brand new setup, isn't it? Is it not? What's going on? We got Waluigi Shrine back here. We got me, and we got a completely brand new setup here just for the week. If you guys were catching up with what was going on last week, we said that we were going to be in, that's right, San Diego this week to see my parents for the first time since the pandemic hit. And that's exactly what we're here to do. We still got the same stocks, the same moon platoon to the moon kaboom. Saw someone say that in the chat. AMC is currently, just trading sideways after a little bit of turbulence, gapping up from the pre-market all the way from $10 to, that's right, the Battle of 1001. If you guys did not get to see that, oh man, that was fun. The battle for 1001. That was legitimate. We gapped up all the way to 1025, and now we are just sitting pretty back up, basically around where we were before 1003. Whereas GME, currently also face that same gap up from 175 all the way to 176 back when pre-market started. Just a little bit of pre-market ambition, a little bit of optimism, and then continuing to peter out until it is now all the way at 1.87. Let me pull this down a little bit so you guys can see just a slight bit better. What's going on? Happy Monday. Good morning, my boy. Hope you're enjoying your parents, says Sam. Good morning, says B Cross Key. Let's see now. Tell mom we said hi. Aw. Woody Wooderson and Sally Dog, Bon McCovey off duty, and Lady T. What's going on, y'all? We're gonna have a shorter than usual broadcast, but we're still gonna have a sizable broadcast to make sure that you guys have all of the news that you need. The morning broadcast. We also have our faithful friend, Mr. TradingView cheat code here that we can then dive into. Let's do the GME real quick. Let me hear my audio. Let's see if that sounds good. Julian She says, hey, good morning, Andrew. One thing you can do while you're there is have a tour of BNGO. I know a guy who still works there, I think. Julian, you got to tell me more. You can't just leave me hanging. Let's see if that sounds good. Julian She says, hey, good morning, Andrew. One thing. That sounds good to me. Let's get it. All right, I'm going to tour over through the super stonk news, including the daily deep dive that we need to do. GME, let's see if we were able to predict anything from the cheat code side. Getting harder and harder to be able to squeeze this all, no pun intended. Oh, hold on a sec, let me turn that off. That's the scary sound of the AC that happens sometimes. All right, let's try to get as much lighting as possible. The sun's going to come up soon, and we're going to be able to have, a few of the bugs rolled out. So over here on cheat code, we are experiencing basically no indicators of buy or sell on the hourly. Let's zoom in a little bit to the 30-minute. On the 30-minute, a weak sell signal, but once again, just trading sideways most of the time. Then down to the 5-minute. I'm expecting a 3 out of 4 buy signal. That's for the 30th. Looking into the last piece of market close. So market was closing on Friday, and that last 5-minute, 1, 2, 3, the last 20 minutes of power hour on Friday, you had a 3 out of 4 buy signal. Okay. So there are high hopes for GME coming up soon. We're also going to do our deep data dive. We got a whole 30 minutes to be able to basically carve out a great path for ourselves for this morning. Okay, let's see. The super stonk daily recap here. What is this background? Where's Meatball? Oh no, where is Meatball indeed? This is gonna be our setup for the week while I'm on vacay. Isn't that great? We're still streaming while the vacay is rolling. And Stan says, where is Andrew? Oh no. Where is he actually? I think in my head, Andrew is on the moon. That's my headcanon for where Andrew is. Okay. So, hold on. Where's my daily? Monday Super Stonk Daily. 05/03/2021. GameStop announces expansion of 700,000 square foot fulfillment center. Okay. For those of you who are just filing in, we're waiting for about 1,000 people to come into the room, and we are going to be able to cover a little bit of the news there. But we're also going to be diving into the deep data dives that we do each morning. So I'm going to pull up the Twitterverse here and pull ourselves up some GME stonk. 26 minutes until the day starts. Okay, now we're back to small baby numbers here. We used to have quintuple digits of calls expiring in the money for GME and AMC. That was April 30th, a big one. But now we are going back to 5,000 expiring in the money May 7th. So this week, the options chain is looking a little less optimistic. However, for AMC, that is not quite the same. Good morning, Harry. What's going on? That dude over there, and Freelance Chase T Selfer, Big Orange Machine, and Calm Space. Love to see you guys in here. Love to see it. Okay, so the GME deep dive. Let's do it real quick. We have write a tweet. Hashtag GME. 173.59, $3 off of Friday's deep data dive, although we were up pre-market on Friday. Let's see, 10,000 shares available to borrow instead of 0. That was what it was on Friday. 10,000 at 1.1%. That's how it normally is. 32,000 available in ETFs. That's 25% less than Friday. 5,000 calls expiring in the money. So that is less than half of how many expired in the money on Friday. And 10,000 more coming up. Let's take a look at that short percent. You see how it stays high, high, high. Shorts stay high. And that means that we're still going to be facing some upwards pressure, but you know, it takes two to tango. Short percent stays high. Okay, tweet. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me put this video in here. Oh, well, whatever. Okay, hashtag GME deep data dive. Let's do one for AMC. AMC is at 10.03 right now. That is 17 cents off of where AMC was pre-market last trading day on Friday. So 10.03. Data dive last week, I said prepare for an attack. That was correct. Oh, up 1.2 million shares. That's up 10x from Friday at 14%. These AMC shares, they're just on the shelf. They're not moving. Where are they going? They're just staying around there. ETF shares with 9.4. That's exactly the same as last week. Not exactly, 19 off. 30,000 calls. So AMC actually has more calls expiring this week at 11. I'm sorry, this week right now. And way fewer expiring at 11. That's good. You're basically giving your money to the hedge funds if you give them, if you try to buy way out of the money calls. And then finally, let's see how badly we were shorted. Okay, I thought we were going to be in the 60s, but on the 50 percentile, it's definitely higher than the last few days. 47, 42, 37, 38, right? But still the highest of the 5-day cycle. That's because it's a Friday. Okay. All right, here goes the AMC data dive. Roger Dodger, back to it. We're gonna do some technical analysis as well. Rado beats music production stuff. Oh, I did. I am on vacation, so I've just been skimming the email subjects. But yes, I have seen that. I haven't seen any of the topics, but I will look into it more deeply. Yo, Andrew. Can we hold on a sec. Can we get past 180 today? Let's hope so. No, I think there's a good chance of that. 180 is the next level of resistance. So in that sense, we should be pretty okay. We shouldn't be too far off. Okay, let's see. I do want to turn on my Waluigi shrine, so give me a second. Waluigi shrine. Okay, now it really looks like we have a real background there. Okay, back to it. I gotta see my live chat. Bitcoin almost back all the way up to 60,000. No, I should have put my life savings in it. I knew at the bottom of 47 that was basically where we were gonna be for a long time. So if you guys have not gotten your $250 of Bitcoin, I mean, it's already May, but the best time to invest was yesterday. The second best is today. So I'm gonna put that in the description. Where's Meatball? He's all the way back in the Bay Area. This week I'm gonna be in San Diego. Next week we'll be back. Okay. So that news, GameStop news release. Hold on a sec. You guys gotta see this. Let me see if I can put a tab here. Yeah, heck yeah. That was easy. Sometimes I love OBS. Sometimes. Let's read this. GameStop expands fulfillment network with new facility in York, Pennsylvania. Okay. New 700,000 square foot site to support transformation. 700,000 square feet. Okay. They announced the expansion of its North American fulfillment network through its entry into a lease of 700,000 square foot fulfillment center in York, Pennsylvania. This facility is expected to be operational by the fourth quarter of 2021 and will support e-commerce and fulfillment needs. Now that, if you guys are basically thinking, hey, when is GameStop going to become serious and actually, they made $51 million. Hold on, how much money? Let me think about this. Yeah, 51 million by selling $3.5 million worth of 3.5 million stocks. That was something that caused a bearish pullback when people were like, oh no, they're gonna issue 3.5 million extra stocks. No, it actually turned out to be a really good thing because now they are taking that money and putting it where it is needed, right? Putting it to use. And that's something that we like to see. GameStop, a Fortune 500 company headquartered in Grapevine, Texas, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. So this is part of that Monday important news from Superstock. Bullish AF. Top story. U.S. House Committee on Financial Services for Thursday, May 6th at 12 Eastern. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be here live streaming that. And the thing about that is I'm going to have to be rushing over from Joshua Tree National Park that day. I set up a camping site. I was like, yeah, that's going to be fine. Thursday, no problem. I can't think of any reason why I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to be busy on Thursday. Oh, here's a reason. No, I will be back by noon Eastern to make sure that we stream that all day. So if you guys are looking for that, bam, Thursday is the next GameStop Part 3. The who wins, who loses, and when short sellers, social media, and retail investors collide. That's right. Might be you. Might be you for any of these, really. They are announcing the whole Part 3 of GameStop hearings this Thursday. We announced that last week. If you guys are up to date with these live streams, you would know Thursday is the one that we're going to do it. Brad is saying, how was my trip? It's good. I travel very intensely. So on Saturday morning, I woke up at like 2:30 a.m. just to get to LA and spend like a good day there, and then moved down all the way to San Diego. So from there, that was like going to sleep at like 12:30 a.m. So that was waking up at like 3 hours. That was basically being awake for like 19 hours. Okay. Committee activities are finalized once an official notice is issued. Now let's look at the witness panel. Not only are we hearing from Gary Gensler, Gary Gensler is announced. Okay, I gotta change the title. Gary Gensler, the Gensler himself. Gensler to testify. To testify in Congress. That's super exciting. So Gensler is going to testify, and we're going to hear from the DTCC and the FINRA as well. All the key players sitting at one table. Talk about a high-stakes poker game. Whose bluff will show first? I'm super excited. House committee hearings, the U.S. government. That's a lot of damage. All right. The next AMA, Dave Lauer, market structure and high frequency trading expert. Okay, so you guys, we were following the AMA for Dr. Queen Kong, right? Suzanne Trimbath, and now we're gonna have Dave Lauer, market structure, high frequency trading expert and former Citadel employee. Ooh, okay, that's gonna be the 3 p.m. Eastern at noon. I'm not gonna be able to make it. How much time do I want to spend in Joshua Tree National Park? Okay, we'll find out. But we're definitely going to be here for the congressional hearing. That's for sure. Okay, there he is. Oh, it's this guy. It's that whistleblower guy. Oh, sweet. Okay. Oh, I'm super glad that we're going to get him then. I haven't even put out that whistleblower video yet, which is perfect. Now I get to put that out later today. Okay, great. AMA post is coming out. Very cool. Proxy voting and democracy. As many of you knew, GameStop released their proxy materials. If you're not 100% sure about that, it's okay. We made a whole live stream about that last week. Contact your broker. They're the only ones who will be able to assist you based on your exact circumstances. It's extremely important that you aren't just taking advice from this subreddit. Every broker has slightly different ways of doing things. So scissors in the chat if you've already contacted your broker, and rockets in the chat if you are going to. Yeah, if you're expecting to. Sweet, sweet. Okay. Steps to have voting. Have your control number, number 1. This is going to be different for every single, every different broker that you have. Number 2, input the control number through official channels only. Understand who and what you are voting for. Submit your ballot. And the main point is that you are voting, right? It doesn't matter what you vote for, but share with everyone how proud you are that you have voted. Number 5, very important. GameStop, power to the players. Ape wants you to vote as soon as possible. So Queen Khan said. Let's see. Melvin Capital Management amends 13F form to request confidential filings of ownership. Oh, with the SEC in order to be able to keep certain holdings of theirs private and their positions reported separately, confidentially, and directly to the SEC. Why does this matter? Well, Melvin isn't proving those gains they claimed earlier this year. Yeah, I have a girlfriend. Oh yeah, show us a picture. You wouldn't know her. She goes to a different school. That's basically what happened. That's a really good way to be explained. Yeah, I have a girlfriend. You wouldn't know her. Melvin filing a confidentially amendment to their 13F form. All right then, keep your secrets. Here's an interesting DD that dives into Melvin's magical numbers. How much time do we got? About 14 minutes until the stonks start. I think we'll be able to cover at least one of these DDs before the market actually opens. Bud, shills, and bots. Oh my. Yep. More about moderating here. I think we're good. And be excellent to each other. Awesome. So we're done with that. Very cool though. God, it's been quite a long time since we have been paying attention to this. But look, there's a new GameStop in Tulsa, Ape approved. Wow, okay, so I'm gonna scroll through a little bit more to see exactly which DD we should cover this morning. 15 minutes till opening bell. You know, guess what we brought over from the Bay Area here? Oh yeah, can't forget that bell. Can't forget that bell. Honestly, that's one of the only things I packed. I don't have any clothes, but I definitely have a bell. It's not that hot in here anymore. Let's see if that lighting's getting better. Yeah. Now I can start. You know, I'll save the DD until my lighting actually gets a little bit significantly better. So let us move me over slightly. Get my face. Push my face a little bit higher. Maybe this is the week that I push my face a little bit lower. ETX ripping. Ooh, yeah, ticker symbol suggestions. Go ahead and tell me what you guys want me to look at when the market's open. Drop them in the chat right now. Big orange machine, I got you. Here's an easy way to be able to tell when those clips are clipped. Here is the exact date hold on, wait, where is that exact date? Maybe I'm wrong. Oh yeah, when the markets are open, it'll say the exact date here. Otherwise, just know that most of the time when a YouTube video turns around, you're likely seeing that video, any YouTube video, because it takes time to edit, productionalize, etc. Right? So the main point of this is that within 48 hours, these videos come out to you. And that's the main point. If these videos are for the people that can't make the live streams. So if that describes you, great. Those videos are exactly for you. If it doesn't, well, it really helps the algorithm if you click through and watch to the end, because you might have missed something that you didn't see before. So thank you guys for catching those videos when they do come out, because they're clipped up for your pleasure. Brandon Burns. When you back with Professor? I'm gonna be back with him on midweek next week. I'll be traveling back on Monday, so I'll be back with the Professor on Wednesday, the next Wednesday. The March to zero liquidity, volume or bust. Ooh. I have learned more in the past 5 months trading GME than the previous 30 years investing. I really hope that describes some of you guys. Okay, we got some of these stonks here. We have Ocugen, Mavis, PTMN, Veil. Okay, let's do Ocugen first. This is epic. So Ocugen, looking at the 5-minute chart makes me feel alive, you know? Just like, I'm gonna scalp this trade. Let's look at the 30-minute chart instead. Ocugen had a buy signal during the pre-market that rose up and caught from $14 to $16. So Ocugen is actually ripping pre-market, because that's about a 15% rip. Where we'll go from now, highly overbought in the Bollinger Band, but no reversal yet. So for now, Ocugen, just hang in there. Can Yen look at Naked, please? Says Chris Rakis, asking for a friend. Let's see, Naked is next, so that's good. And then Mavis. 9 minutes until the market's open. Boy, oh boy. Getting close to there. Not much of that in naked, not much of anything actually. No indicators in the 30-minute chart. Check back in later. It has been consolidating sideways for a while. We'll do some manual. We'll do a little bit of manual TA in just a second. Microvision. Dun 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 dun. 3 out of 4 buy signal, but that was back in the beginning of the day. Friday, did that even take? Let's see. 1371 all the way up to 15. Okay, that's about another 10-15% rip. That's fine. But other than that, Microvision looks like the opportunity to jump back in is slowly leaving the building. And by slowly, I mean just seems like it has crossed through the oversold bands on the 30-minute chart. I do want to be able to jump back into Microvision. Let's not get me wrong, but I didn't see a 4 out of 4, and that was my rule of thumb. Last time I bought into Microvision, and it was the perfectly right decision, was when I bought a 4 out of 4 from Cheat Code. So if you want to be able to check into Microvision yourself on Cheat Code, that's one of the best ways to be able to. Grabbing your own from the description down below. Okay. Making sure our stonks aren't going anywhere. Let me take out my magic pen. My crayons. Yo, mo money, says Don Esler. What's going on? Scooter McDuder says, yeah, I hate to admit it, but I actually have been learning things these past few months. Oh no. Learning. All right. What we're seeing here is this gap up on AMC. Paralleled exactly with this gap up over here on GME, that then moves through this bimodal path here. After this gap up, we're looking at a attempt to retake, right? So this is not really price action off of the VWAP. It just looks like that after a bearish slide, the bulls started to take over and tried to take back a 224. And from there, we rejected even earlier at 1020. And then you can see this is the small wars fought on our behalf before the regular investors come back up. Another flash rip to 1020 afterward from AMC there. So this is essentially the beginnings of a glass Tupperware container lid here. It is an attempt to drive up to 1024, succeeded, then shortly rejected afterward, a full rejection from 1024, and then a flash rejection at 1024 right there. So that's AMC's price action today. Expect there's going to be a lot of turbulence. If they try to retake 1024, there might be a flash bounce downward. But we do have 2 levels of support down at 995 and 986. So I'm expecting there to be a pretty consolidated action for the beginning of the market. Although Monday morning market open is the most volatile that you could see, most stocks and GME and AMC in particular. We have GameStop not playing that game, right? We don't see that price action very much except for this gap up. We see that instead of failing to retake 177, it succeeds and actually rips all the way to 178 before getting rejected and now trending back down to where it was before, but still 2% up. So fully above that 176 level of support. You know, what we wanted to see was GameStop proving us that that GameStop was strong. That's what we actually wanted to see, because we wanted $180. What was on the other side of 180? That price action should have been pretty clear that we needed for GME to up its game. All right. We had AMC pulling its weight, passing $10, staying above there. Wow, that was one of the most exciting days of trading in a long time. If you guys remember that from Friday, oh man, that was exciting. But GME, we really expected it to be able to at least push 175. Could not push that either. Let's look at that options chain just a second to make sure that we are still playing around with the same hand of cards here. April 30th. Oh, this must have happened like right as markets closed. So where is this coming from? This is the GME options chain from April 30th. You can get your own option sonar in the description down below using the link. But look at this. $26 million of puts at $300 strike. This added together was almost 6 digits. That's right. Oh no, not 6 digits. 9 digits. How many digits is this? 6, 7 is a million, 8 is 10 million, 9 is 100 million. It's nearly $100 million dollars worth of puts at $300 now, because we've been counting them from before. Wow, this is going to be a story by itself. Let's see. Brendan says, cool, have right brain half of me map eyes or ears around the world using a very specific one. Uh-oh. I have treats bird call high profile person's emotional numbers as the numbers of apes to deliver message. Brendan, I am excited for that update. I'm excited for that update. Okay, let's see. Another 26 million. So that's adding up to, why are all these puts coming up here? This is at least 70 plus million put wall. So that is a huge put wall on GME. But why? Who's doing this? GME, AMC, crypto update for the day. Hold on a sec. Can you talk about halting? As far as I want to talk about halting, it's just a natural part of keeping the markets fair, right? I don't want to start too many speculation analyses of what halting actually means. So far, we have seen GME, we've seen AMC halted. Just means that the price action has gone too far in one direction too quickly. And see, look at this, is a normal options chain here, right? Not as beautiful as this options chain for AMC. Wait, hold on. Which options chain was the really pretty one? I think it was this one. Yeah, look at that. This is how they teach you in the textbooks. You have your calls over here, you have your puts over here, right? Nobody wants to buy deep in the money calls or deep in the money puts, because that's not the way the market should be running unless you had some nefarious purposes. But look at this. What in the name of nefariousness? $300 strike, $26 million worth of puts. It outnumbers every other piece of the options chain. That's how large it is. Okay, one more minute until the market's open. Let me draw a optimistic path here. I have a dream that GME faces a paper-handed event early, bounces off. I have to draw this really, really close. Bounces off, then tries to take 180. Pessimistically, I'm seeing this action here. For AMC, pessimistically, all I see is just dropping through 2 levels of resistance. However, that seems very unlikely. We're likely going to see an attempt, at least, to try and take 1035. We know that the eyes are on AMC these days because of the attention that we were able to give it thanks to, the YouTube platform. That's what we like to be able to spread the love around. What does a put wall mean in terms of significance? It's essentially putting a bunch of quarters on the machine, saying that you're going to provide this downward pressure on, that's the best case scenario. We know that people want to be able to exercise these in the money puts. These are sells that they can do, basically signal to the institutions that say, hey, I want to sell, but I don't have the share. I would like to buy the option to sell. So this is creating downward pressure at higher and higher limits. And this larger and larger put wall means foreboding dark clouds ahead. But we don't hear, that's how you hear theme music. Markets are open. And that's why we brought the bell. All right. Right out of the gate, GameStop is pushing through 176, still seeing strong, up a 1% on the day. Zoom into that price action a little bit. AMC not moving much yet. Okay. From here, I'm just gonna put out my predictions a little bit so that you guys can see the actual price action. I'm actually going to, eventually I would like to drag this down so that the MACD isn't so fat. I mean, it's good to see the MACD. The price action isn't that important. Check the history of the butterfly effect. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I'll give that a looky-loo. I know about the butterfly effect. I'm not sure exactly the context here, but I'm feeling confident that something is coming together. Let's see. Oxygen is going. Let's make sure that we have our eyes on Oxygen. OCGN. Oxygen up 13%. Was going, now already on the way down, but still feeling strong. Back to GME. Hey, come on. Turn off auto, and you'll be able to, now the proportions are mostly wrong, but that's okay. Okay, so GME bouncing off of that, basically as predicted. Look at that. Beautiful line. If it does continue to push downward, though, that's why we have so much shorting happening. Come on, Ames. Come on, GME. Feeling strong about this. Greetings from Germany. I think you are very personable. Oh, thank you. What a nice compliment from our German friends. Europeans, let's do a roll call. Where are you guys from? Where are you guys at right now? We'll do Europeans first, and then we'll do everyone else. I think that's how the world history actually works. Let's see, Connor Jones. Can you check out MindMed? Yeah, I can. MMED, that's up in a second. MindMed is coming up on deck. What exactly happened with Melvin Capital? Ooh, that's some cool DD. That's from 5 days ago. Wow, 5 days. Okay, so now we're almost up 2,000 people in here. So now I can start talking about important goals. Important goals, including, hey, let's try to get to our personal subscriber goal on this live stream of just, super simple, 80,200, right? 80,200. We are already 63 away. So we get 63 more subscribers, and then I'm gonna go out and I'm going to, thank you guys very much. But if we can get to 80,420, then I'm gonna be buying another $1,000 of AMC and GME each. So that's the goal for today. We need to have 63 more subscribers or up to 80,420 in order to get $1,000 of GME and AMC. And that like counter, like I don't have any booze around me, but what I will do is give you a extra heavy thumbs up if we can get to 2,000 likes. 2,000 likes is that goal here. Okay. GME, feeling the bounce, pushing underneath 174, but feeling like it has an opportunity to go back. AMC, very, very similar price action, suspiciously similar price action, let's see. What do we have from Connor Jones, MindMed in a second. Let's see, lack of deference to expertise acts as a blocker to the hive mind. It's very, very real. Okay, well, this is the most important piece, is that a lot of people have a lack of respect, lack of deference to these efforts. I appreciate you, Anti-B, for building out this path for us. Okay, so GameStop feeling like it needs to take this dip into consideration. This is the one that I counted for, but it's taking a little bit of a hot sec to recover. That's it. That's the one. That's the ticket here. Where am I, Andrew? If I turn my laptop out the window, you'll be able to see exactly where I am. San Diego, baby. Okay, let's see where exactly people are. Bavaria, Germany, Sweden, Poland, Sweden again, Denmark, Germany, Liverpool, England with an I, Norway, Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, France, England, Liverpool, Finland, Switzerland, Hong Kong. Someone just include Hong Kong in Europe? Uh-oh. Ireland, Belgium, Sweden, Wales, Germany, Sweden, Germany, Stuttgart, Netherlands, England, Dubai, Italy, Romania, Germany, Munich. Oh, I love my time in Munich. Oh man, a lot of Germans, Swedes, but just a good sense that you guys are a very diverse group of people. All right, so I said Europeans, you had a chance. Let's give the Asian countries a chance. If you're from Asia, or if you didn't have a chance to shout out during Europe, you can be from Eurasia. Let's take a look. Okay, GME running out of steam early morning. I'm surprised there's no bounce. This is exciting. I expected this VWAP to come here and take over AMC, but this VWAP here instead is keeping a tight lid on GME. So let me finagle here. If this is the case, if that VWAP is going to give GME some trouble, then we're likely going to see price action here for a significant amount of time, right? I still think that bounce is going to happen. So I still think optimistically that bounce will happen eventually, right? But pessimistically now, I'm starting to see that if that VWAP is starting to basically come down to 174, that is going to be a tight lid for us. And we might actually see significant price downward from here. Significant down to the next level of support, of course, so 170. Brian says, we win the battle of 1001 and it drops 4%. Ugh, SMDH. Well, technically it's only down 2%. It's 1984. It's down to 984. I think it could be worse. Significantly worse.
The window is like.
That's okay. I don't really want to show the outside. March to zero liquidity. Volume or bust. Okay, so we have DD now that we got it a little bit brighter here. Accountants when apes show up to do taxes after the squeezes swoes. Speaking of cars, I'm reading through some of the DD right now. Speaking of cars, I just passed through an Aston Martin dealership, and I was like, Aston Martin car! So, once again, if you guys aren't sure about the beef that there is with Mr. Jordan Belfort, yeah, that's right. There's gonna be some fun stuff happening soon. Let's see. Oh, okay, Brendan Burns. He means that what Imagine an Expert part can do when lets other expert minds or other jobs for it at once. No, I'm excited to see what neuroscientists we pull. That's cool. I see that the Asian countries did not. Oh no, yes they did. I'm just like, where are they?
Because you were like, oh, where's my European countries?
European countries from Thailand, Canadian in China, Hong Kong. Now Hong Kong. Now we have Hong Kong here. New Mexico, the most Asian countries. Connecticut, also very Asian. Spain, Croatia, Galicia. So not a lot of Asian countries here. Interesting representation in the mornings. I mean, I have demographic information, but most of it is from the US. So now is your chance. Americans, and this includes all of North and South America. Tell us where you're from. If you're from the US, I know you're itching for it, so go ahead and tell me exactly where in the US you're from. Oh, this bounce may be coming up. Brendan says, Elon wants to know what humans can do that robots can't. Lots and lots. Whoa. I want to hear a psychology joke. Ben has to do a talk on AI and the psychology of jokes. Oh, it's interesting. Violet Hummingbird. Hey Andrew, can you explain why the swing trading or scalping GME would hurt the cause? Oh, sure. I like that question a lot. I can't pull screenshots anymore because I have my live chat over there. But why would scalping and swing trading hurt the cause? I have a lot of whiteboarding videos that I have yet to clip up and show you guys later. But essentially, what you're looking at here is supply. What am I going to do with supply and demand? I guess we have to go back to old school economics and show you. Violent Hummingbird is asking, why would old school... Let me start recording anyway, just in case I think this footage is fun. So the question is, Violent Hummingbird asks, why does scalping or day trading hurt the cause of the squeeze, either for AMC or for GME? And that's actually a very, very fun question, right? We have demand and we have supply. We always have demand and supply. This is just the normal economics graph. Now, if I've already lost you, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of this chart. Essentially, it's trying to say that, you know, we have the ability to have everybody who wants something at a specific price get it at this optimum price, right? And that's actually just how everything gets sold, not just stocks. But we have here the amount of the price itself, and we have here the amount of people that would like this product at that price, right? Everyone towards, hold on, that number sign is very bad. Everybody lower than that price would want to be able to buy it, right? But everybody that is higher at this price won't be willing, but then people won't be able to willing to sell. So this is the optimal price in which the stock gets sold. Now let's say that that demand curve is way, way lower. Let's say that, you see, as the price increases, the demand decreases. So this is demand. I should have labeled these in advance. Demand, supply, right? So actually, so the number of people that end up wanting this, wait, hold on, don't want to mix them up. Respeeds, they're here with their wife's boyfriend, cousin house here in Philly. Manitoba, Canada. Okay, I'm glad that actually all of the people are talking about it here. Let's see. What did I have before? We have Manitoba, Canada. Hold on, I just want to be able to shout you guys out real quick. Back to supply and demand. We have Arizona, Dallas, my mom's house. We have Iowa, Florida, New Jersey, Texas. Andrew, what's going on? Grand Rapids, Michigan, Beer City, USA. Very cool. We have Wisconsin, Los Angeles. Oh, I was just there. Indiana, Kentucky, Croatia. Yes, the most American of the cities and the countries there. Am I watching Alkygen? I should. Hold on. Oh, 18% up. Jeez Louise. Oh man, Alkygen's on a rip, but Mavis is not. Okay, so this is the reverse-a-roo here. Exciting stuff. But we're usually used to seeing Alkygen on a mad consolidation, but then we have Mavis doing the fat rips here. So let's say that the demand curve is strictly like this now. Let's say that we have the number of people that are actually willing to sell here be like that. Actually, I should draw it in yellow. So this is the normal demand and supply curve. However, if everybody hodls, that means that we move the demand curve all the way. Let's actually parallel to here, to there. So that's a new demand curve. That means that way fewer people are willing to sell the price at a way higher. So now we actually have to go all the way. Hold on, wait. This is why economics. The demand curve, we move it out here, then that price gets higher. Okay. Now we're actually learning about economics. So now If we move that demand curve over here, if everybody hodls, then the amount of people, that's why I'm figuring this out. I'm relearning this as we speak. Let's make it here. We put it here, then that price increases here. I was trying to like be fancy and explain this with economics, but essentially what happens is the reason why we have these ups and downs is because people are either finding more supply or finding more demand at each point. When the price of the stock has a bearish reversal, for example, let's say that these are macro trends, and then we have a bearish reversal right here, it's because a good amount of people either decided that this is a good price for them to sell, or a good amount of people decided that, hey, we have a lot of shares here, wait, let's short the stock to create this downward pressure. So that is the same effect. Shorting the stock to force the downward pressure, you can happen at any time, as long as you can locate shares or sell those shares naked. However, if you do try and hold out, then that selling pressure doesn't exist, and then you don't hurt the stock with your own downward pressure. My brain's on vacation mode right now. But in that sense, if you miss this dip here, and imagine that this dip didn't exist, you would have moved the price action of the stock like basically here. So if I can draw this part of the graph over on this part of the graph, you would be another rip upward and then up this way. Imagine if every single one of these dips didn't exist, right? Imagine that every single time there was this downwards pressure from a paper hand or from the shorters, it didn't exist. That would be able to take out all of these dips on this chart and just go straight upward. That's why scalping and day trading hurts the price of the stock, because it is the same effect as it gives the shares back to the people who want to be able to cover, yes, but I'm pretty sure they're not thinking about covering on a day-to-day basis. What it actually does is it prevents the price action from dipping downward, which makes the gamma ramp easier to sustain. Barima says HCMC, please. Oh no, wait, we got San Antonio, Detroit, we have Chicago, Missouri. My dad and brother did virtual reality at AMC in Columbus, Ohio. Oh, that's so dope. Wait, I had no idea that we already had like virtual reality all the way in the Midwest. Tell me about it. What exactly was the experience like? Okay, so I feel like I was gonna do something MindMed and then HCMC. So MindMed on the 30-minute chart, dipping into this oversold territory. Now the way that, so let's actually just see where the reversal is about to come. No indicator here for the squeeze. Here's an indicator. This is the shape that we're looking for when we see that kind of indicator. This sharp return, flattening of this slope and then return upward. That's what we're looking for when we're trying to find the squeeze indicator here. You might notice that that looks slightly familiar. Bimodal hump downward up this way. So currently there is no entry point until this curve starts to flatten out entirely and then return upward. So then you'll be able to see a squeeze indicator here, and then that swing indicator still isn't showing yet either. So MindMed on the 30-minute chart, not a good entry point yet, but is quickly going to become one. HCMC. And then let's take a look at Ocugen for sure. HCMC going crazy. HCMC is going crazy, objectively true. 30-minute, no sell indicator quite yet, so you'll notice that from here, would you have seen the buy signal here? Brendan says they're in a position to do something about it and a lot of things. So, what are you gonna do? Fair enough. Okay, the buy signal here, coming down to, what is this? 0.001 cent. to from 0.001 cent all the way to 0.003 cents. That's a 200% rip right now. When will it start to break down? Because I say when, not if. Look how overbought this is. People are getting way hype about HCMC. Let's see if we can see some news for it for sure. But as of net right now in cheat code, there is no exit point. However, if you're talking about take profits instead, you have already exceeded cheat code's last take profit at 0.0025 cents. So you're crossing into danger zone. Oxygen already cooling down. It was up 18% a second ago. Now it's up 16. Let's take a look at, what was I gonna look at? HCMC. Because we're trying to paint that holistic news picture now. Oh man, Meat Kevin got a shave. Holy moly. I think that's exciting that you can, your persona based on your facial hair, you could just immediately be like, oh, that's completely different than what I was expecting. HCMC up 29% after a big fat dip, that's why. So a big, hold on, wait, what HCMC was I looking at a second ago? Huh. What the? Where did this gap down come from? Okay, my charts are showing 0.0032 on one side and then $10 on the other side. Oh, because this is the AMC chart. What a glitch. Yes, okay, wow, that was weird. Did you guys see that? What a glitch. Okay. HCMC up 29 cents from a breakout here. All right, keep paying attention to it. Nice new studio, Andrew. Well, I wish I had proper lighting, but I appreciate that. Another, the only thing about San Diego is that it's so cloudy in the morning. Someone said, holy moly, what's happening to AMC? It looks like it's consolidating between two levels of predictable price action, which is always what we like to see. AMC currently playing around with 980 and 995. Let's take a look at how we're doing in terms of our subscriber goal for the day. We still have 56 more subscribers. So that's it, just 56 more until 80,200. That's our daily goal. If we can get to 80,420, I'm buying another $1,000 of AMC and GME each. Okay. So I think it's time for a little bit of DD. Form 13F. Melvin Capital is currently trying to hide some of their, like, what is Melvin hiding? Actually, that's a pretty good title too. What is Melvin hiding? Is Melvin hiding? So Melvin is filing a 13F that makes it so that they don't have to report certain things. And that's very exciting. Hold on. Now I can't delete this. Form 13F HRA, Melvin Capital Management LP. Quarterly report filed by institutional managers. Okay, one sec. There's this video about the importance of education. Oh, that's good. And then the NSCC 801 can be automatically approved this week. May the 4th be with you. SEC wants to give us one more chance. May the 4th be with you. I like this DD. This is by Door Public. Okay. We used to have we used to have June gloom. Oh, now it stretches from early May to late July. Oh no. Yeah, instead I'm used to in the Bay Area seeing a ton of nice weather instead. Just like early morning, nice weather. Late night, nice weather. Non-stop, nice weather. Oh, no way. Jade has actually changed. So I used to follow a lot of these finance YouTubers. Oh man, I cannot believe that she's transitioning into crypto. Wow. There's gonna be a crypto bubble soon. That's crazy. Love your Gorilla Gang, says Hugo Perez. What's happening? Why? Why, Hugo? What? Who did this? Hugo did this to you? Okay, is there any way that I can add more light to my face? This lamp is bright. But not bright enough. GME about to go up. What's going on? I thought we hit our $10 target today. Well, we still have today and tomorrow to be able to exercise those options. GME getting kept down by that VWAP earlier from this live stream mentioned that it was likely going to start having a downward push all the way to 170. Well, that's not too bad. 170 does seem like to be a hard mental barrier as well as a level of support. Ethan Thomas says UXIN. After that, then we're going to talk about how the NSCC 801 can be automatically approved this week. NSCC 801 can automatically be approved this week. So what I'm going to do is this. There we go. UXIN. I'm glad I didn't procrastinate like figuring all this setup out, because this would have been really hard if I didn't figure this out early. Earnings report. Estimate point. Wait, the surprise is 0%. Wow, perfectly unsurprised. So from that perfectly unsurprising earnings report, jumped up from 162 all the way to 323, 100%. People are really happy about this earnings report here. Jumped up there, stayed up at 323, still currently there, looking less overbought. However, it's still hovering around that band here. Not a clear exit point yet. In fact, there was still a buy signal, a weak one at that, earlier yesterday's trading day. So I would say UXIN, it has potential to continue rising, but anything past 370 is going to be a hard sell. A hard sell. Basically, not likely. Yo, Andrew, says the mad fanboy. What's up? Hedgies are so powerful. Aww. eToro having liquidity issues. People keep talking about eToro. I hope eToro is not going to try to play us like Mr. Robinhood did, like Mr. Hood. Because if they do, they got another thing. They got another thing coming. Let's get started. So NSCC 2021-801 can be approved automatically. I forgot I was already recording. Moon Platoon, we're gonna jump directly into this. The SR NSCC 2021-801 can be approved automatically anytime this week. May the 4th be with you, of course. This is the video that I think you guys have been waiting for. I have been waiting for as well. Today is the Monday, the beginning of the market. Only 30 minutes has passed, and I want to be able to share with you this news. Now, if you guys are getting this a day or two later, that's okay. Right? These YouTube videos do take time for you to be able to, at the very least, get the news directly in front of you and be able to have them still be relevant. I check for relevance each of these videos. So first of all, sorry for my English, but two, I don't want to post misinformation. So if you know something is wrong, please tell me and they will correct. We're also going to start off with the bottom comment. That's for the new policy. We're going to be able to see exactly what pinned comment in the very bottom first, and then too long didn't read, and then we're going to cover exactly how the NSCC 801, the one that we have been waiting to change the game, is going to affect this week. So down to the bottom, not a very lengthy DD. First one here. We didn't get our 420 meme day. I'll take a Star Wars meme day instead. Okay. They don't care what about dates anymore. If Star Wars day is the day hedgies get effed, then they'll be watching ESB on repeat for the next year. So looks like that this DD does not have any strong contentious debates in the comment section, because this is something that you guys were looking for. But now that we've gotten that squared out of the way, make sure that you have already hit that like button on the way up to 1,200 likes. Go ahead and comment out which like you were, and let's get started. Too long didn't read. On April 28th, the SEC website published a speech that has not received its due attention from Apes. This is a very strong and direct piece, even calling short hedgies werewolves, and I think by this piece, they want to get our attention. This speech delineates, among other things, the parameters of an oncoming SEC report related to meme stocks. The speech is way out of the SEC historical comfort zone, and it goes to show that they see our frustration. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been this strong. It is not written in typical SEC speak either. It is written in the most simple and easy to understand yet precise and legally prudent way it possibly can. For me, it's clear that they want to say something like this. Meme stock holders, I don't like this designator either, but nevertheless, it's very clear they meant to say that. We see your frustration. We have our eyes on this. Here is our position. A, there will be shorties related to GME stocks. B, SEC will address it with regulations that has already been identified. And C, SEC should not give two freaks about a hedge financial institution losing a lot of money. And D, bonus, LIBOR is done for. Get a load of this. The words frustration gave them something to think about, and thinking they remember that the law NSCC 801, if you don't remember what this law is, they'll use this post to explain very simply, was filed on 3/5/2021. And remember that this other post that talked about the time it has to take for the law to pass automatically, right? We're about to basically run the clock out for NSCC 801 to start automatically. Captain K-Man, I'll cover what you're just talking about in just a second. Here are some possible outcomes. SEC does nothing. It takes effect in 60 days. SEC approves it. We don't care about the other ones. If SEC does nothing, and we know Mr. Gary Gensler up on top, fighting the good fight for us, it will take effect in 60 days from the date of filing. This post says 60 days, but remember, do your own DD. Anyone can be wrong. They went to the NSCC 801 and checked it themselves. The proposed change may be implemented if the commission does not object to the proposed change within 60 days of the later of I, the date that the proposed change was filed, or two, or II, the date that any additional information requested by the commission is received. Okay, our friend was right. The proposed change may be implemented if the commission does not object to the proposed change within 60 days of the later of whatever it is we just read. Edit, and there's a change to the rule. If their little brain understands this correctly, the important law is SR NSCC 002, and that's the PDF right here. NSCC filed this position, one sec. NSCC filed this position change as an advance notice with the commission pursuant to section 806. Not that important here. 002 changes as well. The next step is the most simple. Go to the calendar and count 60 days after 3/5. Pretty obvious. May the 4th be with you. So thanks to those creators as well. Thanks to the one that put this together. Let's give this a quick upvote. Just a very, very brief update on what the NSCC 801 can do for you. If you guys are still curious about what it does, let's make sure that we have covered this based on the swimmer child DD here. So the NSCC 801 pass, it is not that same 801 not the DTC 801. Right? What passes is the OCC 2020 801, and we're waiting for the NSCC 801. So that's the one that we're talking about that is going to automatically pass on May the 4th if the commission does not object. OCC 801 is a skin in the game rule. We talked about that with Austin Tobit, but for NSCC 801, this is the collection of secondary liquidity deposits, and that's something that we're going to be able to talk about in a future video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in the money. Okay, so mandatory, hold on, so let me just read a couple of your questions here. How can any of these companies still be pushed downward so much after have the filings show clear illegal operations? Well, at this rate, we're having Gary Gensler testify in Congress on May 6th, so we might be able to see a little bit of the connections start to play. But honestly, it is very much like we're giving them 2 chances already to do a proper congressional investigation. Like at this rate, it really does end up becoming like, can the president come down and smack some sense into this, or the executive branch, the judicial branch? One of these branches has to be able to do it. Okay. The importance of education. And then march to zero liquidity, volume or bust. Tick tock, tick tock. What exactly happened to Melvin Capital? This one seems fun, actually. Smoking or Joking says HCMC dipped back down, so they took their 80% returns. If it starts to rip again, it's so cheap they'll buy some more. Remember, just the price of the crypto or stock doesn't mean about how cheap it actually is. So be careful not to get burned by that distinction. Where did I go to school, Andrew? I used to teach at SJSU and Santa Clara University. Oh, Farima, that's so cool. I didn't know you were a professor. I went to the University of Chicago for graduate school and for undergraduate school because I just love punishment so much. I love to hurt. Love to hurt, love to be hurt. No, that's a fun little inside joke for anyone who's gone to school in the Midwest. What exactly happened with Melvin Capital? So this is coming up on deck. Let's see. I hope Doge runs like a track star. People keep autocorrecting to Doge. Let's see where Dogecoin is. If you guys caught me yesterday. Oh. Okay, yeah, this is the daily. I'm like, this is the daily. I'm like, when did it have this? This is starting to look like a little bit of a cup. A little cup action here. Do we not see a cup forming here? There might be a double top soon, is what I'm trying to say. A double top that could lead into a cup later. But as of right now, there is going to be a bearish pullback. Oh, 40 cents? Is that a new landmark? Hovering right around that 40-cent mark. Let's see if cheat code can give us a little bit about Dogecoin here. This is a proxy, but it'll tell us the price movements at least. No, wait, that's not right. This is wrong. Let's do Doge USD. It wants us to buy back on 38 cents. That's a weak buy. Okay, so it's not seeing on the hourly any reversals soon. Even this sell signal actually didn't play out correctly. So it seems like Doge is actually on a pretty good rip. Wow. Would have paid off. There were some users in here that were saying that Doge would have been a great play when it was around like 20-ish cents. So there, you gotta listen to the hive mind. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's see. For Gensler, he is waiting on the Treasury, and he has his hands full with the XRP case that's making the SEC look terrible. 1 billion volume. Is WeBull glitching out? It was earlier. We definitely saw that it showed HCMC here, but it was clearly still AMC on the left side. AMC stuck in this endless loop here. GME already bouncing off. Try to retake the VWAP. Basically staying completely put. Oh, are we looking at that cheater's ladle? If you guys haven't seen that technical analysis video, that one was like chock full of education. Just search the only TA video that you need to know, the cheater's ladle. Likely going to see a little bit of sideways action here and sideways action here. Semper Monkey says it's paying off, especially if you bought a ton at 5 cents. Really? 6.9 cents was the meme price, and didn't jump in. The FOMO was real. It's not the fear of missing out; it's the fear that I have already missed out. Uh-oh. I think I have some very old coffee that I'm gonna sip. Okay. This is not DD, this is a nice little piece here that says, I've learned more in 5 months trading GME than the previous 30 years investing. They've learned about the corruption, the lies. Milk tea, thank you. I have learned about the deception of using media to control us dumb money. Literally the worst thing they could have done was shut the trading down in January. Really, they have opened the eyes of millions of people. Truly, millions of people, including you guys. Those of you who have learned during this financial like shenaniganry, you are a new generation of investors. This is true. Thank you. Keep learning, you beautiful apes, and go change the world. Blah blah. Corruption. Blah blah. Anger knowledge. The DTC SEC hedgies have created the King Kong monster of a problem by drawing this out. Now apes are smarter and stronger. Truly, we are evolving directly before them. They thought that they were basically entirely safe. No dice. Aw, Jezebel, thank you for modding. Big rockets in the chat for the mods. V says we are competing against the professionals with algorithms on their side. They will be using psychology and financial reports against us. Very true. Elijah Knoll. Hey Andrew, Cash App shows no stock movement at all. It's all frozen. Seems fishy to me, bro. Thanks for all your work. What have we been saying about Cash App? But I do appreciate Elijah for that report. Yeah, don't use Cash App unless you want to buy some stocks and forget it. If you're going to be a technical trader or you're going to be a day trader, this is not the app to be able to have consistent data come through that actually reflects the trades that you want to be able to make. Okay, what happened to Melvin Capital? That's in just a second. Ticker symbol suggestions for you for the day. What do you guys want to look at? Can you believe this? We have a different set today. Oh man, I can't do any of the fancy. Maybe I can. Let me plug in my camera. This is the little camera boy here. There's not any great place to put him. So I'm like, okay, maybe I don't need to put him anywhere. Now that I'm getting a little more courageous. Well, not this one. This one. This one here. Oh, thank you for the super Bronkballer01. Can you give your thoughts on SONN? I sure can. SONN. Okay, this camera goes here. Oh, you know what? It actually looks pretty okay. So I guess we're gonna use it now. So SONN. That's what you said, right? Yeah. SONN, and now I'm gonna change up the camera here. How many of you are here for the crispy camera quality? Crispy camera quality. Look at the face. Wow. Surfboard. Yeah, basically I can't jostle anything. Everything is basically right here. Okay. SONN. So SONN is currently, whoa, way overbought. It's showing the sell signal on the hourly right now. I bet if I zoom in, I'll be able to see another swing or squeeze indicator too. Oh, do I have to move you over here? I do love this stand. This stand is the best. Okay. Back to over here. You had a chance. There's that squeeze indicator right there. So sell, Bollinger Band, squeeze. That's a 3 out of 4 sell signal. I would get out of SON if I were you, but I'm not you, so I can't give you financial advice. SON is looking incredibly overbought. Cheat code usually is not a one that gives out 3 out of 4 sell signals lightly. If on the hourly chart, it does not have a swing quite yet, but on the 15-minute chart, if you were looking a little bit earlier for indicators that might happen in advance, SONN is looking like a exit point as of right now. I gotta have my mom teach me about angles. True.
Yeah, maybe you could move the it up so you're
Good.
instead of this one.
That's a good point. Calm Space wants to look at MicroStrategy. Calm Space. Very calm of you to ask me. Overall on MicroStrategy, 30-minute chart, there was a sell signal that didn't take. Another sell signal that didn't take. They did this buy signal. 654 all the way up to 677. Yeah, so these are very micro movements here. You know? But they marginally they are very like basically like sub 5% movements every time. MSTR on the hourly. Let's look at some macro changes here. So we have this blip here from a run up of 735 to 915. Even that is only 2/7. So that is like 20-ish, 30%-ish. So we have a run up there that quickly crashed from 900 all the way back down. And from there, an overcorrection down to 628. So this overcorrection has lasted for a couple of days now, but you can basically bet that there was a reason why we were resisted at 730. Right? I don't have the news story in front of me, but 730 was a point of contention multiple times. In fact, I'm going to add a trend line here. Oh, great. Okay. Crash. Horizontal line. Because now, next time that you want to be able to actually push through, you're going to have to break through that line. Under here, we're seeing a fairly strong level of support. Let's see if we've seen that before. Down here, about 619. This is about 611, yeah. So there's a very strong level of support here. So if you are paying attention to the movements of this stock, you're trending directly in between. That's why when we looked at it on cheat code, they also were of the opinion that you're trending basically directly between 609 and 729 as of right now. That's a short-term play and a long-term play here. AMC, back to it. 782,000 volume on GME and then drops. LOL, they're clinging on for life. So we're seeing the cheater's ladle right here. The VWAP trending underneath the simple moving average. We saw that last week too. This is essentially the same movement as last week. AMC back to the minute chart. Turn off auto. There we go. Calm Space says, thank you for the micro on the micro. Joji says, it's all about the circles you make. Like a circle like this. Can I make a perfect circle? That's a perfect circle right there. Or you can have this one. That's a perfect circle too. What exactly happened with Melvin Capital? Hold on, let me just make sure that I can actually see the 200 read down here first. How much sugar is in here? 19 grams. Where's the diet boba? Too long didn't read. Citadel and Point72 purchased over 51% of Melvin Capital's share equity after Melvin's broker realized they couldn't close their positions and complete margin call without risking bankruptcy. This is a bombshell, really? With all of these sources too? What's the first comment here? I think it's very nice of Ken to help his friend Melvin out. How thoughtful these hedges are. I hope they will be cellmates. Oh no. Kenny boy. So does this still work? Oh yes. Oh, that's great. Then let's see now. It's all about angles. Can you check A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H? Nice one. Thanks, David. David, I'm not sure if you if that was a fun joke or you just don't know how stocks work, but we are going to teach you about stocks, David. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Okay. Press that record button. You know, I'm pretty sure that Ken. This doesn't work. Hey, my name is Andrew. How's it going? We are gonna ask the very important question of, you know, it's very nice that Ken helped out his friend Melvin. How thoughtful these hedges are. I wonder if they'll be cellmates. Yeah, Mr. Gabe Plotkin, Mr. Kenneth Griffin, what are you guys doing? What exactly is Melvin Capital hiding with the 13F forms, and how exactly is this shaping out to be a larger bombshell than we originally thought? Citadel and Point72 purchased over 51% of Melvin Capital's share equity after Melvin's broker realized that they couldn't close their positions and complete margin call without risking bankruptcy. We know that Kenny G, Mr. Citadel CEO, helped out the Melvin Capital, Mr. Gabe Plotkin, original shorter of GME. However, now we are noticing a much larger trend, including a motion for Melvin to file a 13F form that essentially makes it so that they hide their positions from everyone but the SEC. So what exactly are they so darn afraid of? Well, we're going to cover that in just a hot second. Make sure to stay all the way into the end of the video and check out my surfboard, right? I am currently supposedly on vacation, and yet we're still working hard for you, getting news out there. So I wouldn't be too bashful asking a quick 1,200 likes on this video. If it's not quite up to 1,200, comment out which like you were, and then let's get going. Okay, they've been typing all day, sipping coffee all night, so strap in for a crayon drawings. Let's give a thumbs up to the source in the description, avid trees fan. Citadel and Point72 have owned at least 51% interest in Melvin Capital since January 24th through a private placement investment unregistered offering following Melvin receiving notice that their broker-dealer had margin called them. Let me explain. Excuse me. This is a Reuters article here. Not that I would think that they should read or trust Reuters or any other source for that matter, not even me, but they have an interesting source to evaluate since January. So here, Melvin Capital ends month with over $8 billion in assets after investors added cash. In the above article, it stated that a source, sus as SF, trust no one, disclosed that Melvin Capital ended the month with over $8 billion in assets. Traditional AUM reporting includes positions purchased with margin. So that $8 billion reported includes margin positions. It doesn't include short positions because a short's loss isn't realized until the position is closed. On the contrary, proceeds from a short position can be used freely to purchase positions that will be shown on AUM. There is a term called regulatory AUM, which means the amount of money of assets managed by a fund when accounting for losses and unclosed positions and tracks margin. But big surprise, funds don't offer this number publicly. And this is really, at the end of the day, if you guys are fighting for financial freedom, right, you guys are fighting for the chance to make your case and make a ton of money, you really should be fighting for financial transparency, right? Data transparency. Why don't we have the data we need to make smart decisions? Come on. What is going on here, especially the short positions that we want them to disclose? Don't miss the congressional hearing. That's going to be a fun live stream with yours truly, Andrew. There is also, okay, so we have this. There are two possibilities as of January 31st. Reuters source purposefully leaked the $8 billion number to suggest Melvin was worth more than $5.5 billion at the time of Citadel and Point72's combined $2.75 billion share equity purchase, or that $8 billion number is the amount of capital Melvin had after gaining access to more leverage using the $2.75 billion. If you remove the $2.75 billion infusion from the total of $8 billion that reported, it's 5.25. Exactly half of 5.25 is 2.62, meaning if Melvin raised funds at the valuation of 5.25, a 2.75 investment would be able to purchase controlling interest through a private placement investment. Okay, what is going on here? We know that Melvin had a certain amount of money, right? And let's just have this chunk. You guys can't see that because I'm being blocked here. Let's say that Mr. Melvin has this much money, right? And ultimately, maybe their GME debt, once GME got higher and higher, right? At the beginning of the day, their GME debt was this big, right? They could handle it, but GME started to grow in price. This is the price that they shorted it at. So that's their obligation to pay back. Then it gets bigger and bigger, right? And then it gets bigger and bigger. And at one point, they were getting risk to get a margin call because the value of which GME that they owed got so large that it encompassed their entire amount of assets that they managed. That means that they would have to liquidate everything inside of their hedge fund and then just to pay off all of the buying that they needed to do for GME. That's the short squeeze. That's what we were waiting for. And yet, when Mr. Citadel came over for Melvin's help, he added an additional $2.75 billion. Now is the question here, is this composite $8 billion enough to have a controlling amount of funds inside of Melvin Capital? So they believe that the $8 billion number represents Melvin's AUM after a $2.75 billion infusion and any margin they were able to gain access to between January 24th and January 31st. This would develop a narrative that Melvin did not have to sell controlling interest in the company to raise capital to prevent a bankruptcy. So we come here. Citadel and Point72 purchased more than half of the existing fund's share equity, and even unleveraged, that 2.75 accounted for 1/3 of the total assets under management as of January 31st. The links below will explain some of the nuances to private placement investments, right? Feel free to be able to expand your mind when it comes to these economic terms. When purchasing through a private placement, the investor is essentially purchasing equity shares in that company. Owning more than 50% of a company's equity shares means that you have controlling interest in that company. Okay, so remember the January? It's only been a few decades ago, right? Between January 26th and the 28th, Goog fell from 1900 to 1830. Between 26th and 29th, FICO fell from 511 to 450. And between 26th and the 29th, Amazon fell 3,300 to 3,200. So we see the inverse correlation of larger stocks that, once again, right? We have all of this money that is going to be allocated to pay off their GME debt, which means that they need to sell their positions in other companies, Google, FICO, Amazon, right? We are looking at a clear direction when a company like a hedge fund goes and covers a big short position. This is not publicly available information unless they disclose it. But in the case of Archegos, right, and the case of Melvin, it's basically like they're going to leave a huge vacuum in the market for some people to try to jump in. But if you are a fan of the stocks that, like Viacom and Discovery, that Mr. Archegos left in their wake, you might know that they haven't yet recovered quite yet. Melvin has had big positions in all these stocks, and they think these drops are a result of Melvin Capital receiving a margin call, but they stayed holding positions acquired with cash. So there it is, the hidden margin call. I need to write that down as a title somewhere. I don't have a pen, but just so you know, I'll whisper into this piece of paper so Andrew will remember it later. Title this video, The Hidden Margin Call. Okay, got it? Take a memo. Okay, when a margin call takes place, the broker-dealer often uses software algorithms to close out the positions, meaning that a computer will literally buy any price within a specified range. They believe that this attempted margin call, they'll explain why they saw an attempted margin call, contributed greatly to the buying pressure and run up to 483. Technical issues such as partial GME shares selling for over 2,000 may have resulted from this attempted margin call. Remember that Plotkin and hearing said that he didn't think that price action was influenced by shorts covering. Plotkin is the CIO. Also, his grandfather founded Melvin Capital, so he is Mr. Melvin. I still believe that he knew that covering their entire short position would send the stock much, much higher and break the financial system, which we might have seen if the buy stoppage did not occur. So this is your one chance to be able to shake your hands at Mr. Melvin and Mr. Robinhood. Okay, there we go. As will take place when the mother of all short squeezes occurs, the broker-dealer, remember, we don't know where Melvin bought their shorts. It could very well be Citadel or another completely random broker who lent to Melvin would have had to decide to bankrupt themselves to attempt to cover, and realize covering without going bankrupt was impossible. Only way to avoid bankruptcy was to require Melvin to locate adequate funding, and along came Citadel and Point72 to proactively contribute $2.75 billion to prevent further margin call of Melvin through private placement. So this is likely because whenever Melvin's broker lender realized that this was hitting the fan, they might have attempted to margin call Melvin's naked short positions on GME, only to realize that they literally can't cover it when a margin call due to unavailable float, since we now know the available float is 26 million. This is essentially the idea that there are so many shares that have yet to cover that recursively, nakedly, there are just not enough shares to cover, even if you try to margin call. You basically have to margin call and buy a bunch of shares, and when the robot's like, there aren't enough shares, we have to basically buy it back from the person we just gave it back to. That is a huge recursive issue. Okay, let's take a look. Reading that article would suggest that Archegos could have held a total portfolio of up to 100 billion because the lenders couldn't see that Huang was taking parallel positions at multiple times. So It also mentions that Credit Suisse took at minimum a $4 billion hit after margin calling Archegos, 4x their annual income generated by their largest sector, the real estate side, which shows why a broker-dealer may be hesitant to margin call since they can get burned really bad. So this is basically taking what we know from that margin call with Archegos into the fold of what we know has happened from this missing margin call, this hidden margin call that we have not been able to identify until it started to get pretty obvious. Here is the 13F form. I'll also include this in the description. It's the SEC form 13F for Melvin, Mr. Melvin Capital, which is disclosing that it does not want to disclose their positions publicly and only directly to the SEC. So if a fund that had $22 billion under management on December 31st, 2020, only had $8 billion after receiving a $2.75 billion cash infusion, from this, it can be observed that between December and January, Melvin lost a minimum $14 billion and could have lost well up to $16.25 billion total assets if that $8 billion includes leveraged gain from 2.75 from Kenny and Stevie Boy. In their opinion, 15 billion loss on a 22 billion fund sounds like a margin call to them, right? If you lose close to 75% of all of your money and you haven't been margin called, I think that you really kicked the bucket some way or another. So a little bit more in here that you guys can read, a couple more bullet points. Really, really excellent reporting from this user. Go ahead and make sure to show that source some love. And once again, thank you guys for supporting the show. I do appreciate it. My name was Andrew. We'll have Meatball back on the show next week. He's staying with some family right now. I am on vacation and perhaps I'll return to it. But for now, but not for forever. Peace. Cool. That was a very fun one. Okay, what are the peeps saying? Knock, knock, who's there? What are the peeps saying here? Russ L, Krimmer, Norman, John De Silva. What does XXX or XXX mean? It's the number of shares that you have, right? So if you have less than 10 shares, you have X. XX is less than 100, and XXX. Okie doke. The keyboard is hideous. What can I do, you know? Oxygen. Okay, so let's take a look here. Oops, that's the wrong oxygen. Get these drawings out of here. And what does XXX really mean? Uh-oh. That's a question I cannot answer, I'm sorry. Explain why Cash App is frozen for everybody. I don't think I can explain that unless I work for Cash App, but let me see if I can take a look. Hey Melvin, don't be a Greg. I wish. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't want a loud keyboard. It's just the only one that works with a mouse at the same time. So I'm just lazy. It's not a personal preference, but for this, I will go out and get a silent mouse. I already got one, but it didn't work with the keyboard. So now I'm just gonna switch them both out. Get a USB that allows me to use the mouse and the keyboard at the same time. Keyboard sound is money cash. Yeah, Jessa, if you find a article about Cash App, I'm just gonna search it as well. Cash App freezing. Seven reasons your Cash App could be crashing. More like Crash App, am I right? What if I just put this here? Because I'm not using the mouse anyway. That's significantly better. I don't know why I didn't think about this ahead of time. That's much better. Still a cloudy, gloomy day. This is Logitech. This Aoyama, this is the Logitech keyboard here. It's just loud. Okay, so GME, let's take a look at if anything's changed yet. 5,000, 10,000, 250. This is different than earlier. AMC, we had 1 million, 1.2 million shares, 1.5 million now. Nobody wants these AMC shares. Nobody wants them. What's going on? Look at the difference between the number of shares available. Expiring in the money. Now that AMC is underneath $10, there were 30,000 available when AMC was above, and now only 8,000. That is like a eighth. Sorry, my brain. 3 times 8, 4 times 8. So that's a fourth of what we are able to actually see. If 4 cents more, that's why the battle for a 1001 was so important. 4 cents more, and then a quadrupling of the amount of calls in the money. What's my take on the whole chip shortage? That chip shortage has been going on for a very long time. I'm starting to think it's a marketing tactic, but no, it's just a facet of the economy, right? Plan around it, but I don't think it should be changing your investment strategy very much. Like, identify opportunities, get messy. But at the end of the day, a chip shortage that's going on for this long can only be changed with like political change, right? If the U.S.-China relationship can get a little bit better, if certain relationships around overseas that are not that relationship can get better, it might just go away with one phone call. That's the difference between that and like an actual supply and demand shortage. Let's see. I just want caffeine. I don't want sugar. Can I have that bottle on the shelf, please? Harry says, seems like the views on GME is shorter than the big players thought. I feel like the good hedgies will realize they made a monster out of GME when we hold till silly number. Till silly number do us part. That's a good way to... Till silly number do us part. No joke. Whoa, 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 whoa. The march to zero liquidity, volume or bust. So that's the next DD here. What I do want to play for you guys is that clip of the Citadel whistleblower. Hold on. Close whistle. What if I do Dave? Oh my god. What is the name of this guy? What did I just do? There we go. Former. I had to actually spell out S-I-S-H Citadel instead of just a normal Citadel. Because Google's like, I don't understand what you mean. Do you mean Citadel? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play this video real quick. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. It's a 4-minute clip, and then you guys will know exactly which guy is going to show up to do an AMA this week. It's pretty exciting.
Best bidder off.
An AMA in 2 days, that's what it is.
By law, Citadel must match the best bidder offer in a public exchange, but about a third of equity trades take place outside of public exchanges. Citadel doesn't have to match those.
So while the retail trader will get the best price in the market, there's nothing to show that that is an accurate price.
David Lauer worked at Citadel, where he was laid off in 2009, and then worked at other trading firms before deciding the practices were flawed. He has testified before Congress on the dangers of high-speed trading.
The market exists for 2 reasons. The first reason is price discovery, and the second is capital formation. That's it. The market is not there to be a casino for math geniuses. The price discovery mechanism breaks down when too much of the incoming orders are executed outside of the normal exchange system. And there have been several studies that have demonstrated that at the 40% mark, it acts as a disincentive for people to post orders on the marketplace. We are right at the 40% threshold now for volume that is happening off exchange.
I can say to my customers, you're getting the best available bidder price out there. But if there's someone that's willing to pay more and they're not telling us and they're not posting on an exchange, you know, that's just how the market works.
Part of that is these pay-for-order flow arrangements that retailers have with wholesalers. Market makers stop posting orders on the lit market. Other countries have recognized this problem, Canada especially. Recently, they passed what's called the Trade Act rule, which imposes a burden if you're going to execute off exchange. And that has driven dark volume down to around 2 to 3% of the Canadian markets. Now, some will argue that's a bit extreme, and it might be, but 40% is another extreme. And we are doing more harm than good when we're at that level.
The major exchanges over the last 10 or 15 years have lost a lot of market share. 80% of all New York Stock Exchange stocks used to be traded on the New York Stock Exchange floor. Now that number is 11%. Unfortunately, the exchanges are reacting to loss of market share by trying to get the regulators to protect their business model. We're not very supportive of that.
Citadel also argues they are bringing high-speed trading technology to the masses.
I think the automation of the markets has resulted in a much better outcome for average, everyday retail investors. We have state-of-the-art technology and infrastructure and one of the fastest trading systems around. Any retail client order that gets executed through us is trading on a level playing field with the best high-frequency traders out there.
You can reap some of the benefits of high-speed trading systems, but it's a very questionable claim. As soon as you've looked at something and clicked, or typed in something and clicked, the benefits don't accrue to you because you've already taken hundreds of milliseconds to take an action, and that's just an eternity in the world of high-frequency trading. When I was sitting on a high-frequency trading desk, and the guy next to me had a PhD in bioinformatics, the guy on the other side had a PhD in climate science from Harvard. The guy behind me designed semiconductors for Intel, and another guy had a master's in math from MIT. And these guys are all working on an HFT desk. You could have had someone looking for a cure for cancer, someone helping address the issues of global warming, another one leading advances in semiconductor design and technology, and yet here they are trying to find their fortune on Wall Street.
You used to have literally thousands and thousands of traders that do the job that our couple dozen people do every day.
I don't believe that's true, because not every person on the New York Stock Exchange trading floor was a PhD in climate science from Harvard. Yet everyone at these HFT firms are the best of the best.
Maureen Farrell, CNN Money, Chicago.
Okay. Tiny hotel, itty bitty little living space. So that David Lauer is going to show up on Supersonic AMA. So, you're an AMA, says Nick Goad. Uh-oh. Let's take a look. Ah, finally got a buy signal on cheat code, says Vernon Jaffers. Well, which stonk? Which stonk is it? Bitcoin just dipped below 58,000. Dogecoin still hovering around 40 cents. That 40-cent rip, though. Wow. Jeez. Okay, so talking about GME getting a buy signal. The Wi-Fi here is actually pretty good. Where is Ja? The video is classic because it shows that people actually do to survive. Something about curing cancer. Ricky Bullock, thanks for joining as a patron on Patreon. If you're listening right now, Ricky, you're the man. Okay, so GME, a little indicator at buy, but I don't see a buy. The 30-minute, let's look at the 15. Nope. No clear buy on the 15 either. Okay. Where is Andrew today? I'm here. Andrew, call Ja. 911. Hello, Ja? It's Andrew. You gotta get in here and tell us about AMC and GME. Ja rule. If you guys are not in the joke, it's because of a Dave Chappelle joke. Where is Ja? Just search it. Find out more about that joke. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm having a hard time reading my screen here. 55 subscribers away from our daily goal. That could be you, one of you guys. 55 subscribers away from 80,200. That's our daily goal. Hold on, I'm just trying to read this dashboard here. Okay, yeah, 55. AMC. That's not the right. That's, what is this? A. What is this? An AMC for ants? What is this? E. Let's look at some mainstream news here. Expected moves. GameStop stock rises after eliminating long-term debt some 3 hours ago, but that's very old. Jim Cramer's week ahead. The earnings season has very high standards. There's little Jim right there. If you guys saw on Instagram, I visited the Godzilla star on the Walk of Fame. The Godzilla girls, where are you at? Throw some gods in the chat. Throw some Zillas in the chat. Let's look at some GME news. What is this? Come on, let me hover. Uh-oh, mainstream media coming in hot. Let's see, GameStop redeems, blah, blah, blah. Video game sales party rolls on. GameStop stock rises after eliminating long-term debt. That's a positive one. Christopher Katz wants to check out MWK. Okay. You might be noticing that I'm checking live chat a little less than usual. It's because I have this laptop and then I have a completely different laptop over here where it's like further away from my face. But I'm checking it. Okay, wait, I'm just gonna... there we go, now I can see everything. Now I can see it all. Alexander K. He's back. Back into time. MWK, and then we'll go back. Saw some positive mainstream media today, which threw me off. Whoa, tell us the name of the article. Okay, not a lot of data. Buy signal here, which hasn't panned out quite yet, but maybe there's a chance, right? 484. Is this the right MWK? I suppose. Not a ton of data. But this buy signal here, which hasn't taken off yet. If you are feeling lucky, back on the 21st was the opportunity for you to jump in there. There's not a lot of data here, huh? All black. Sell signal here. Okay, hold on. Changes. WMK. MWK. Okay, that's just how it is. So a buy signal here. We don't see any other indicators, but let's assume that they're there. Hockeygen pushing deep into the overbought territory. The mother of all short squeeze is probably happening on Wednesday when I'm in Joshua Tree. Very true. You heard it here. I always miss everything fun. Andrew, I need to snap some pics of my Godzilla collection. Have several SH monster arts. Oh, that's so cool, man. It's very dope. Warren Buffett's comments on Robinhood. That sounds like a very hot topic. Whoa, let's get rid of that. Whoa, 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 whoa. Warren Buffett, Robinhood. Robinhood turning stock market into casino, says Warren Buffett. I mean, it really is, so it's not really saying anything too crazy. Okay, so this is Warren Buffett says that Robinhood is catering to the gambling instincts of investors, which is true, but I don't want to hear Warren Buffett say it. Warren Buffett's like, I am on the high horse now. Me, Warren Buffett. Let's do a couple of thoughts here. This one there. Even pessimistically, I can only imagine that it's just going to continue trading here. Okay, so pessimistically for GME. And then optimistically, let's use a yellow marker here. Even optimistically, I can't imagine it's going to push past 176 anytime soon. So there. Okay. So what was Robinhood's rebuttal? Robinhood, Warren Buffett, rebuttal. Buffett and Munger heap criticism. Okay, here we go. Robinhood hits back. Welcome to Robinhood. Oh boy, this is some hot drama. And Robinhood, we're not going to sit back while they are disparaging everyday people. Oh, you're fighting for the people, we see. You're fighting for the... Get out of here, Robinhood. Come on. Brokers like Robinhood Financial have attracted controversy this year. Controversy is one way to put it. I didn't realize I can just push back this camera a little bit so you guys can see me a little bit. Okay. Okay, so Robinhood hits back at Buffett for trading comments. I think I can just go back to Reuters. Look at it with the Reuters here. Oh. Okay, this is gonna be a fun video. I'm Warren Buffett and I eat caviar straight from my can. Oh, that's a really good Warren Buffett. Straight from my can. The stock market's a casino? Says Kith. He's very unhappy. I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy. Ask me why. Why what, Bob? You have to be specific. Okay. Okay, let's do this Warren Buffett shenanigan town. Oh, look, the pessimistic track is tracking. Didn't even bounce off the VWAP, just going straight down. All right, dope. Hit that record button. Can I do a spit take? Since this is a hotel room, I would like to do a spit take. All right, y'all ready for this? Spit take, guys. Warren Buffett is not happy. Moon Platoon, we're going to talk about exactly what Warren Buffett has said about Robinhood. Yes, the villain from the squeeze story that we have been covering for a good long time. And then Robinhood's rebuttal at what Mr. Warren Buffett said over the weekend. That's exciting news. You guys got to stay until the end of this video. Give this video up to 1,600 likes. If it's not quite there yet, comment out which like you were. And on we go. Watch to the end because we have CNBC talking about Warren Buffett says Robinhood is catering to the gambling instincts of investors. They said that Robinhood is promoting casino-like behavior in the stock market. Robinhood has become the very significant part of the casino aspect. I mean, the stock market, a casino? No, yeah, that checks out. That's basically exactly right. However, Warren Buffett's not happy about it. No. If you guys have seen the congressional testimony from Mr. Sal Arnook, this person had already mapped out exactly the best case for Robinhood, making the stock market seem super duper infantile, right? The options market is nothing to make into a simple, easy peasy sandwich. However, the training on Robinhood Learn is essentially talking about fruit, right? Options are just fruit. Options are just coupons. And it looks like Mr. Warren Buffett's throwing his hat into the ring and getting some visibility on how a little bit of a manipulative working material that we have here. Buffett says he is unhappy to learn how much short-term option activity there was in Apple. Oh, yes, this is exactly what's going on here. People are getting upset that Robinhood is making options seem like a game, whereas it is the easiest way, if you don't know what you're doing, to lose a ton of money. If you guys come here for the live streams, you'll be able to see my live predictions, including the one about GME, currently under attack as we speak. Been trading underneath its VWAP this whole day, above its VWAP now, and now trending underneath. If you guys want to know exactly what I just said, come on to the live streams. But for now, Warren Buffett. Legendary investor Warren Buffett believes millennial-favored stock trading app Robinhood is contributing to the speculative casino-like trading activity in the stock market and benefiting from it. Robinhood has become a very significant part of the casino aspect, the casino group, and has joined into the stock market in the last year or year and a half. The Oracle of Omaha also said that he is looking forward to reading Robinhood's pre-initial public offering SEC S1 filing as the company nears its public debut. Expected in the first half of 2021, the company, which pioneered zero commission trading, is seen as the main gateway for young investors to access the markets. American corporations have turned out to be a wonderful place for people to put their money and save, but they also make terrible gambling chips, says Buffett. If you cater to those gambling chips when people have money in their pocket for the first time and you tell them they can make 30 or 40 or 50 trades a day and you're not charging them any commission, but you're selling their order flow or whatever, I hope we don't have more of it. Wow, he just said whatever. I didn't think he said that. I thought he would say, or indubitably. However, Warren, that was my Warren Buffett impression. I just didn't have my caviar in a can. Shout out to Scooter McDuder. Robinhood, whose mission is to democratize investing, is often criticized for its gamification of investing. Simple terms, if you guys don't want to throw around buzzwords, it just means that it makes it too much of a flashy game, right? It's something that you might find in a mobile game or a slot machine. It makes it seem too much fun with confetti being thrown around when you execute your order, whereas this is supposedly serious business, right? We do have fun in this channel as well, so it's easy to fall into the slippery slope of making investing seem like a joy, whereas it should be seen as an opportunity-making system, a place where you could be grinded into the largest casino in the entire world or make it out on top with the right financial education. That's why this show is trying to move up to 100,000 subscribers and why we are 80% of the way there as we speak. So we would love it if you come along for the journey and help us get to our goal of trying to hit 81,000 subscribers this week. Buffett said that he was unhappy to learn that short-term stock options activity in Apple was surging. He said he expected a lot of activity is coming through Robinhood. Its user growth has been explosive in 2020 and 2021, and if you guys know anything about it, we have been vehemently against it. And if you guys want to switch off Robinhood into some much better app, the app that I'm using and will give you 2 free stocks and cover your transfer fee is WeBull, right? So if you want to be able to get upwards of 20-ish free stocks, that's how many that I got when I transferred, go ahead and check out what promotions that they're offering right now in the description down below. The stock trading app Robinhood added nearly 6 million clients in the first 2 months of the year, yada yada. There's nothing illegal about it. They're talking about gamification and payment for order flow. There's nothing immoral, but I don't think you'd build a society around people doing it. The degree to which a very rich society can reward people who now know how to take advantage essentially of the gambling instincts of not only the American public, but the worldwide public. It's not the most admirable part of the accomplishment. The part about WeBull that makes it a lot more of a responsible app is that as soon as you come into it, you get all the technical indicators, you get all of the numbers flying across your screen. It is clearly trying to make it show that you need a large learning curve to be able to even jump on and get started. So it's intimidating for a reason. And Robinhood is taking advantage of the fact that this stock market is not a game. Unless you know how to gamify it, like Robinhood has. Okay, so Mr. Berkshire Hathaway man is angry. Let's just see the last part of his statement before we talk about Robinhood's rebuttal. There is an old guard that doesn't want average Americans to have a seat at the Wall Street table, so they will resort to insults, the Robinhood spokesman told CNBC. The future is diverse, more educated, and propelled by engaging technologies that have the power to equalize. The adversaries of this future and of change that are usually those who've enjoyed plentiful privileges in the past and who don't want these privileges disrupted. That is already super hypocritical of Mr. Oracle of Omaha here. However, let's keep reading. The new generation investors aren't a casino group. They are tearing down old barriers to investing and taking control of their financial futures. Robinhood is on the right side of history, the spokesman added. Oh, okay, so this is a piece of Robinhood's rebuttal. Let's take a look at Reuters and what Reuters wants to report on Robinhood. So a little bit of context on what Mr. Buffett said. And Charlie Munger is also jumping on top of it. If the last year has taught us anything, it's that people are tired of Warren Buffett's and Charlie Mungers of the world acting like they're the only oracles of investing, said Robinhood's website by its head of public policy communications, Jacqueline Ortiz Ramsey, published on Monday. That's today. At Robinhood, we're not going to sit back and while they disparage everyday people for taking control of their financial lives. How blind and silly do you have to be able to say, we are fighting for the everyday people? If you guys don't have the context, Robinhood took away the right of everyday people to be able to buy into stocks that were ripping high rips, close to full mother of all short squeeze territory back in January, right? And Robinhood continues to do this for cryptos, right? When Doge was ripping, they took away your ability to trade Dogecoin, and they won't stop this. They went to Congress, congressional hearing. We had Mr. Vlad Tenev, Mr. Born in Bulgaria when I was just a boy. He came on he came to the congressional hearing, and he didn't seem very repetitive at all. So if that's taught us anything, it's really that they don't have any right to call of the people. Jack J, I'm going to cover your super chat in just a second. In a statement published by CNBC, Robinhood said that there is an old guard that doesn't want average Americans to have a seat at the Wall Street table, so they'll have to resort to insults. So it's really just taking the hypocrisy, right, and then talking about how there is these old people trying to tell young people not to invest. So that is a fair criticism of what Warren Buffett is saying, right? Look at all these options on Apple. Must be that Robinhood is enabling crazy gamblers. That's not a fun narrative either. So Robinhood has a right to be able to slash back at that because we want someone to say it. We want someone to say that Robinhood is not in the right here. But did it have to be Warren Buffett? Unclear. Let's see. Buffett says there's nothing illegal around it. It's just that we don't want to build a society around it. Munger's comment was, it's just god awful that something like that would draw investment from civilized man and decent citizens. I cannot help but just get a little twinge of colonialism here, that he is just a little bit like, it really sucks that civilized people have to be gamified, and it's just catering to the base masses. Yeah, it doesn't feel good to hear it from these two men, but Robinhood's slashback seems pretty paper cutter. They really needed to be able to make a better case for themselves, and supposedly, you guys decide in the comments below, did Robinhood fairly defend themselves, and who is in the right here? Should we gamify the apps that allow people to build financial wealth, and should apps like Robinhood be proud of their achievements, that they're making it stock market seem less scary and professional and a lot more like you can make big money now. All stocks are fruit and coupons, and we are born in Bulgaria as just young boys coming from the smallest, most humble beginnings to the largest commission-free platforms out there. With that, thank you guys for watching. Thanks to all of these people that make this show possible, from the Moon Platoon to the Space Legend tier to the Gorillionaire tier. If you guys don't see your names up here yet, I will change them after my vacation. You guys can see the surfboard back here from a hotel room in an undisclosed location. We'll see you in the money. Oh, which one is it? This one. Okay. So Jack J is saying, when AMC mother of all short squeezes starts, do you think Vanguard and BlackRock will have to wait to sell until Apes collect bananas? If they sold halfway through mother of all short squeeze, would it be significant enough to trigger a sell-off? BlackRock, as we know, is one of the long whales that have just a ton of shares. Inside GME. Excuse me. So we can't count on them. They're a wild card, right? We can try to speculate as much as possible that they also want to get rich. But at the end of the day, a lot of apes, data-driven apes, are going to turn to Trash Panda, thank you for joining as a special member, special operations member of the infantry of the Moon Platoon. To answer Jack J's question, And many data-minded people are going to turn and say, well, BlackRock knows what they're doing. They have a lot of analysts. They know the ins and outs of the whale environment, and if they're selling, a lot of scared people are going to follow the data-driven people and get scared out of there. So this is why I promise you guys that I'm not going to be televising my sell of GME. I don't want you to pay attention to my sells at all. In fact, I'm not going to sell until much higher. I keep saying not wanting to put a date on it or putting a number on it, because as soon as I say like I'm not going to sell until 10 million, the 100 millions are going to be like, oh, you're not. What's wrong with 100 million? Huh? You're not going to sell until 10 million? Look how perfect this prediction was, by the way. Wow. Okay. So anyway. The main point is that we do have right to be afraid of the long whales, because they do have a lot of the volume that we need to sustain the growth all the way up to the true mother of all short squeezes. However, that's something that each individual member of the retail investing group, having owned the float 100%, many times over, is going to have to ask the question. Right? Do you trust your fellow man? Do you trust your fellow ape outside of the larger institutions? Because we know we cannot trust the BlackRocks, right? They're just whales, the same as Citadel. As of right now, they're just currently on the right side of history. Let's see. And I am going to sell on the way down, but I don't want to say a price. So I'm gonna make it super clear. I am gonna sell on the way down. I'm not gonna televise my sell, and I am not gonna say a price. This is some water here. Someone is asking about what's GME doing right now. So we know that the shorts continue to stay as high as possible for GME. And over the past day of trading so far, we have had this the VWAP contain the price of GME until it was able to start playing around this cheater's ladle here. Once it pushed through this moving average here, it was able to have the momentum to push above the VWAP. However, that was short-lived. After the EMA started to consolidate around this 174 level of resistance, that was two driving factors for the negative pressure downward. So once there, we saw massive downwards pressure here. Actually, you know what? This is a good technical analysis video that I'm going to close out today with this final video here with a technical analysis of GME and AMC. Devin's like, where's Meatball? Meatball is currently back in the Bay Area, but I am in San Diego, supposedly on vacation. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna get the options chain up. I'm gonna get the there super stonk up as well. And then we're going to do a technical analysis for the day. It's only about 2 hours after markets open, but usually these are the most two exciting hours, and then power hour comes back around. Where is AMC's price action here? Lower than $10. Here's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to go to the Stonko tracker here. Stonko tracker 987, so this is 8,000. Okay, great. And then I'm gonna pull my Twitter here. Great, good. Okay, let's see if GME on cheat code actually looks like it coming back. And on the 30-minute chart, 5-minute chart. Oh, sell signal on the 5-minute chart. It was right, but I wonder why we're not seeing a reversal quite yet on the minute chart. Oh, just a very weak sell signal that didn't play out. $171. Come up here. Come up here. Move to existing pain above. There we go. Wow, much better. Now it's I can see everything. Sweet. Okay. Good. Let's do this TA video. Ooh. Oh, just a big old yawn, but now we are making it personal. My name is Andrew. We have the Waluigi shrine here. We got a surf bar behind me. That pretty much means that we are on vacay, and yet we're still doing some technical analysis for GME as of Monday. That's right, May 3rd. 2021. We are going to cover exactly the data, including the data that we covered this morning, and yet how much of the price action has changed the narrative for the amount of calls expiring in the money. We're also going to be covering a very suspicious amount of deep in the money put on GME, starting as early as the 23rd, but as of yesterday, another additional $26 million worth of suspicious puts at $300 strike. And we are going to take a look at cheat code and see if this algorithm can give us a better sense of where GME and AMC are going to be going for the day. If you guys want to look at AMC, it's going to be somewhere halfway through this video, so make sure to skip on over. But it's pretty important to be able to cover exactly what topics the GME and AMC intercept, because there are a lot of parallel movements. If you guys do like this technical analysis video, hey, we do a lot more of these in the playlist down below called Andrew Does Some DD. It's also on the main channel page, the very first playlist, so go and check that out for custom bespoke analyses for you guys. So Moon Platoon, let's get started with GME. First thing you'll notice is that we called this downward movement during the live stream. This is a Tupperware pattern where we have GME being pushed down below the VWAP almost an entire day until it crossed over the simple moving average. So the volumetric weighted average price, if you guys are just coming in for your first techno analysis, is this green line. It is moved by volume. So we usually see the price action of a stock represented in how much deliberation there needs to be between the bulls, bears, and now newly minted apes who just buy and hold. But people get a democratic say in what the price of the stock is, demand and supply. However, with the volumetric weighted average price, it gives us a sense of the true price, how much volume moves the price of a stock. We can have low volume and high price volatility and vice versa. Volume comes back and brings the price action back into orbit. And we notice this too. We have the orange line here basically as a middling indicator of where the price is going to return to. When it dipped below the VWAP here, we were using that as a resistance. And a line of resistance is just a line where the price of the stock is going to be rejected by. The price of the stock can continue upward in a bullish form until enough people provide downward pressure when it comes to a certain level. As you can see here, the price action of GME could not move above the VWAP, and it's an inconsistent parabola here, which means that this is not an actual line of resistance like I've drawn here in teal. So I have one here at 174, one here at 169, one here at 167, etc. How did I draw these? I observed different touch points and I drew them weeks ago. That's right, GameStop's lines of resistance and support are still being supported even weeks after the fact. And now we're looking at this devil's ladle, the cheater's ladle that we covered in the previous TA analysis. And when we pushed below the VWAP again, I knew the that we were looking pessimistically, this red line here, at a major downturn down below this level at 170. Where we are being supported now is 167, so we're currently down 3.5%. Ultimately, not a ton of macro price movement, so that I'm still feeling bullish for GME, but that does change the options chain overall. Well, speaking of the options chain, this is what we're looking at for the day, May 3rd, 2021. If you wanted to get your own version of Option Sonar, we have an affiliate link down in the description below. Mostly calls. The blue is an options call. If you're not sure what that means, it is just a option to be able to buy a stock at a certain price, and it's a gamma ramp all the way up to $280. So a lot of people are buying out of the money calls, and as a reminder, GME has not seen 280 in quite a long time. So any number higher, for example, if you bought a $800 call, is like giving these institutions that sell you these contracts free money. So that doesn't help the cause. In fact, options overall, even at the money calls, don't seem to help the cause. It might make you a fair amount of money, but it easily can be turned into a put conversion that then makes downward pressure on the stock price instead of upward pressure. The easiest strategy is always buy and hold. However, we don't give financial advice on this show. You guys make your own research decisions. What I want to be able to point out here is the amount of downward pressure we can see is not only dependent on the amount of shorts, which we can also see here thanks to the Stonko tracker. We can look at the number of shares available to borrow now has decreased to 5,000. From the early morning reporting that I did 2 hours ago, we had GME 10,000 shares available to borrow, now half of which is gone. And we have the deep in the money puts that is creating a wall at $300. Basically, any price point any price point below $300 is vulnerable to this put wall. You can essentially look at places where a technical indicator would say, oh, GME is supposed to go up here now. And when that happens, an algorithm kicks in and says, okay, execute a certain number of this $300 strike puts. We have $26 million worth of quarters on your gaming console, basically putting it into going to like a little game arcade, putting those machines on the pinball and saying, hey, we are going to be hurting the stock with downward pressure. If you don't have any shares to sell, you can just buy the option of selling it. The institution is going to be the one that takes care of getting locating those shares and then selling them on your behalf. There is reverse delta hedging that we're used to, right? We're used to gamma squeezes where the ramp moves upward with the amount of calls that get bought. However, you can do the same effect deep in the money puts, but with a reverse delta hedging. Okay, this is not the first time that we saw this for GME. We saw this back on the 23rd, I want to say. There. How many? 37 million. So that is even more than the 20-ish million that we saw from the last trading day on Friday, but that is adding up to a pretty penny. Is there any on the 22nd here? There is. Today's the last day that we can see. Even with the premium option Sonar subscription, we can only see upwards of a week out, and so $5 million of puts at 300 plus 37 million. That's 42 so far, and then with an additional 26. So that is a total of $68 million dollars worth of puts at the $300 strike. So we're expecting to see a lot more downward pressure for GME in the coming future. Speaking, now moving over to AMC, first thing that we'll notice is that we had almost 1.5 million shares available to borrow earlier today. We saw that during the live stream. What we reported was 1.2 million available, so now a third of that has gone missing. What does that mean? It means that there are now more shorts that have been borrowed, more shares that have been borrowed to be able to load up the short attack gun, the rail gun that we're going to then hurt the price of AMC with. We saw that on GME side as well, but with only 5,000 shares. So we're looking at an order of magnitude 10, 100 times greater here. Speaking of hurting the stock so that we don't have another battle of 1001. If you guys didn't see the last live stream, that was epic. Fighting for 1001, ending the day above $10, and that was a beautiful day for AMC. Now underneath $10, we had 30,000 calls expiring in the money earlier this morning down here. Right, that's what I reported 2 hours ago, and now just 17 cents away, we actually ended up losing 3/4 of that volume, right? 22,000 more are going to be expiring the money at $10, right? And then another 20,000 more at 11. So there is money on the table for AMC's price action to continue upward throughout the week and ending this week. This is not as big of a week for the options chain for GME, but for AMC in particular, we're looking for the price action to at the very least stay above double digits until Friday. So with that said, AMC, we were staying within two very tight levels of resistance and support here. And from there, pessimistically, after a bounce earlier in the morning, we are now starting to trend underneath 985. It seems like the hedge funds that were sleeping and that were utilizing AMC at 100% earlier last week, but then went to sleep for the end of last week, came back from vacation, put down their caviar cups and said, AMC, it's time to tussle. We have had a lot of positive indicators for AMC in the past, and yet now AMC is taking a tumble because of, one, the 500,000 shares that just were borrowed to short the stock normally, right? Not even naked shorting. And of course, the downward pressure that can come from hurting the perspective on AMC, like maybe some of you have heard influencers and reporters on the AMC story continue to hammer down mainstream media, makes it a little bit easy to take AMC's story and pivot it, manipulate it, change it. Make sure that the facts are driving themselves. Love the data, live the data. Today's techno analysis was brought to you by Andrew, by me. Right? Meatball's not here until we go back from vacation. I decided to take a couple of minutes out of my day to do a quick 3-hour live stream for you guys. And now we are starting to wrap up. So one of the first things that I'll say is thank you for tuning in on your busy Monday. Thank you for making time to provide yourself financial education so that you can continue making a better case for you and your family in this rolling casino called the stock market, and basically called the financial system that we live in. I really want to appreciate the people that make this show possible: the Moon Platoon, Grillionaire, and Meatball, the Space Legend tiers. If you guys don't see yourselves on this list yet, it's because I'm on vacation right now, so I will update this list when I come back. Those of you on the Grillionaire and the Space Legend tier have just received access to my 6-figure portfolio on SoFi. I am going to then give you guys access to an update to that every week. It doesn't change very much. I haven't really touched it for a couple of months. But if you guys wanted to be able to see that, that is for the Grillionaire and the Space Legend tiers, either on Patreon or by clicking that join button down below. It does help support this show. And the kind of technical analysis that we're giving out here, I think is pretty darn good. And it gives you guys a chance to learn it yourself. If you guys want to be able to use that cheat code, almost forgot about cheat code. Let's take a look at whether or not cheat code has the option of cheat code would have been able to predict a price movement today. Let's do GME first. Cheat code had a buy signal here on so we're looking at the minute chart. Buy signal here at the beginning of the third. That would have brought us up from $171 until a 3 out of 4 sell signal, pretty strong sell signal at 175. So that's a $4 raise here. We usually never look at the minute chart, but this is for instructive purposes. Could we have predicted this sell-off? Well, this is a 3 out of 4 sell signal here that would have dipped GME down from 175 all the way down to 164. Now we are seeing on the minute chart this is a disjointed 4 for 4, but a 3 out of 4 strong buy signal here at 166, and then after that didn't take at 163. So if you're looking for the minute chart, which gives a lot more optimistic and real-time sell and buy signals, this is the time to jump into GameStop right now. And of course, we do these subscriber goals as well. Let's see how close we are to that goal. Just 53 subscribers away until 80,200. So we're not quite there yet for this live stream, but that's okay. Now let's take a look at AMC. This is a weirdly paced video, my apologies. And then at 984, we had a clear buy signal here for AMC that took all the way up to 993. These are very small margins because it's on the minute chart. It's usually used for day trading and scalping. And that has been our last 3 out of 4 buy signal. Sorry, 4 out of 4 buy signal. The reason why this 4 out of 4 buy signal did not take is likely due to the 500,000 missing shares available to borrow that we saw earlier reported today. So data is a explainer of all, a narrative-driven tool for all of us to use. So back to it. Thank you guys for joining us for all the way until this section. If you guys want to check out cheat code for yourself to be able to receive those signals real time, it is in the description down below. Use the affiliate link. Make sure to get the latest version, and go ahead and get 2 free stocks on WeBull using the link down below, and $250 of free BlockFi using the link down below. Thank you guys for getting us up to 80,000 subscribers last week. Let's try to get to 81,000 this week for nice paced growth, and we will see all of you in the money. That's it for this live stream. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.